Let's see what the issue is here. Alright, let's check the oil. No, seems okay. Alright, how about down here? No, it all seems in order. Let's put our hands down here, check that out. No, those seem okay. Oh, I see what the problem is. It's my favorite killer car movie from 1983, Christine by John Carpenter and Stephen King. Let's enter the tape tube. What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tape Tube, a show where we talk about some of my favorite movies in my ever-growing horror VHS collection. And although I consider myself to be pretty knowledgeable on the horror front, this week we talk about something I know jack shit about, and that's cars. Cars are cool, cars are fast, but if you're like me, cars are just a headache and an anxiety inducer because I don't know anything about them. But this week, we're getting our hands dirty and getting yelled at by Dad to hold up that fucking flashlight as we talk about the 1983 hit, Christine by John Carpenter. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, you more than likely have seen another movie or episode of a TV show that's taken inspiration from this legendary story about a killer car. One of my favorite nods to this movie is in Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, where the mystery machine itself becomes possessed. But you're not here to listen to a grown man talk about cartoons. We're talking about killer cars, jealous jalopies, and violent vehicles. Let's get to the guts. This movie is based on a book of the same name by legendary horror writer Stephen King, who's been involved in numerous horror movie projects. And to direct this flick, we have another absolute horror legend, John Carpenter, who you all know from Halloween to Assault on Precinct 13 to numerous other projects.
Ghost of Mars.
Oh yeah, and Ghost of Mars. To star in this movie, we have Keith Gordon playing the super nerd Arnie, who buys the killer car, John Stockwell, who plays Arnie's much cooler friend Dennis, and Alexandra Paul, who plays Lee, Arnie's girlfriend who makes Christine super jelly. Alright, so we're all fueled up and ready to go. But what's this movie about? Hop on in and I'll tell ya. Roll the film. This movie starts out at a car factory in Detroit, Michigan in 1957. We got a bunch of Plymouth Furies on an assembly line, and it's not hard to notice the star of the show looking all fine and shit in her glossy red coat. As Christine's getting checked out by some dude, she's not having him getting all handsy, and she closes her hood on his hand. Youch! As this guy's walking away, this other jabroni hops on in and ashes right on her new seats. We can all see where this is going, and in that next shot, we can see the boss man closing up shop, only to find this guy's body in the car. Quick jump to Rockbridge, California about 20 years later, high school cool guy Dennis is showing up to his mega nerdy friend Arnie's house to take him to school. You know how we know that Arnie's a fucking nerd? Because they gave him the generic broken thick black frame glasses they would give to soon-to-be hot girl in any generic high school flick. Speaking of high school girls, their dreams, a brand new chick just arrived on her first day and Dennis's buddy got a hot tip that...
But she's got the body of a slut.
But anyway, Arnie's a loser, Dennis is slaying tail and saving Arnie's, and oh hey, a car! On the way home from school, Arnie makes Dennis pull over as he sees this hot stinking pile of shit that he can't resist but make his own. He buys it from this creepy ass old guy who tells him this definitely unnecessary backstory of how his brother, the previous owner's family, died in the car, and the dude was so crazy that he didn't care about it, but he just worked on the car all the time like a maniac till the day he killed himself, and anyway, that's not important. Arnie's parents are pissed when he tries to bring this jalopy home, and so he goes and takes it to Darnell's, his local garage junkyard, to store it as he works on it. As a few weeks pass by, some weird shit's going on. Dennis notices that not only has Arnie ditched the glasses and became a very cocky with the cool guy douchebag attitude, but now that he has the new girl as his girlfriend and this shifty old car that Arnie bought from the old man that he had dubbed Christine is in almost pristine condition. The goons that used to pick on Arnie aren't having other people being happy, so they decide to break into Darnell's and destroy the car and bust it up. They do. When Arnie finds out the next day, he's devastated, but not for long. It's very clear that Arnie and this car have a much deeper relationship, and he talks to it and it slowly rebuilds itself back to new right in front of him. These two have had it, so they team up now to get revenge on those that did them wrong. What will Dennis do to help Arnie as he plunges into motorized, love-fueled madness that can't be stopped? At least not by a stop sign. Hop on in and find out with Christine. In my opinion, this is one of Carpenter and King's more underrated movies. Sure, it doesn't have killer bug alien clown things or killer guys, but honestly, it doesn't really need to. Now, while this movie isn't super gruesome or gory by any horror movie standards, it has everything that you would enjoy and appreciate from the writer and director itself outside of the genre. The guys are just super talented at writing a story and shooting it, and here's an example. The scene where Arnie is alone with Christine after she's been destroyed and he asks her to show him, only for the car to start rebuilding itself to brand new. Although there's not people getting cut up or chased by some masked weirdo, we get some of the coolest special effects in a movie to date that doesn't include a single drop of blood. Even though this movie doesn't have Arnie driving Christine off of cliffs doing barrel rolls, talking about the importance of family, it's got a fun and unique story that would make Vin Diesel proud. That's why it's a perfect fit for us here at the Tape Tomb. Here's some facts about John Carpenter's Christine. According to Bill Phillips in a DVD commentary, that this movie wasn't violent enough at the time to secure an R rating, and they were scared that it would be put to PG because PG-13 didn't exist at the time. So on purpose, they inserted the word fuck and its derivatives into multiple parts of the movie on purpose, and then ultimately were criticized for it after the film was released. 15% of the movie's budget was used just on cars, and all but 2 were destroyed by the end of the film. The opening scene, which shows Christine being born in Detroit back in the 1950s, is the one major change to this movie from the book. It shows Christine being born inherently evil, which is not the case in the series, where the car is actually possessed by an old man. Portions of the film, particularly Arnie's neighborhood, were shot in the same South Pasadena neighborhood that director John Carpenter used in Halloween 1978. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been your host, Larry Downs, and if you liked this week's episode, make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below to let me know that I'm doing a pretty good job, and maybe drop me a comment down there telling me what I should do in future episodes. And then make sure you tune in every other week to our sister series, Airlock Shock, starring Nick Haskin. He's always talking about great new sci-fi movies, just like we do horror here at the Tape Tomb. I'm Larry Downs. Stay spooky, my friends, and I will see you in the sequel.